Hello. Hello. Merry Christmas. Felicidades. Hola. Mírame, friend. Mírame. He's smelling right. Smelling real nice. In my phone. And you don't know. Move your beard, please. Your beard is in my way. Your beard is in my way. Your beard is in my way. Yuletide tidings are here to stay, but your beard is in my way. Alright. This is another episode for all of you dirty little. Frank,
Yeah.
start us up.
Wait. Hi, hello. Welcome to the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. I am Frank, along with,
Tony.
and you can find us in the Twitterverse at Completely Inap. You can find us on the Instagrams at CN Podcast. You can find us on the Facebooks and the YouTubes under Completely Inappropriate Podcast. If you're into YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the fucking notification bell. And you can email us with your questions, comments, concerns at completelyinappropriatepodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure to leave a 5-star review. Don't try the other stars, they don't work. Trust us, we wouldn't lie to you, we love you.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are finding you're happy people. Hope you're being excellent to each other.
Mhm.
Hope y'all are eating as much pie as you can in any way you want to take that. As long as you're enjoying yourself and living a happy life this holiday season, we are happy to be here to entertain you.
Yay.
But we want to talk a little bit, this episode, about a Christmas experiences of a different variety. Not one close to home, but one far from. Frank was mentioning one during the break here that sounded a little interesting. I wanted to hear a little more about it. I thought you guys might want to hear a little bit more about it too. So this episode is going to kick off with a little Christmas with the Marines in a new little Marine Memories episode.
Yeah.
So Frank, what do you got for us? What year was this that you were out
I remember.
in the world for Christmas?
Yeah. 2006, because I was in Iraq for late 06 to early 07. So, yeah, this was Christmas of 06 down in a important city of Iraq called Ar Ramadi, or more commonly known as fucking Ramadi. I gave it the nickname and never picked up Sniper Town, Iraq. Yeah, because fucking it was mostly fucking snipers.
Wait, Marine snipers or
Haji snipers.
Haji snipers? Now that is a derogatory term, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I mean, not that I'm gonna limit you. I mean, you were there. I don't care what you want to call people. I mean, I feel people have experiences with people that lead them to call people whatever the hell they call them. I'm not gonna police anybody's fucking words. I might call you an idiot for using them. I might think you're stupid.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of the same thing.
But freedom of speech, y'all. Y'all want to talk shit about each other? Talk shit about each other. No one's gonna stop you. Don't try and stop anybody else. Just leave your fists and guns out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's war, in which case you're out in Iraq. Christmas of 07, you said?
06.
06, 07?
Yeah.
You said 06, 07.
Yeah, the late 06 to early 07.
Okay. And in Ramadi, and were you in a bunker? How were you staying there for the week, for the day, for the weekend? How long were you stationed there this time, or at this time?
For
where were you?
a few months, I was.
A few months.
Yeah, I was
And
in Ramadi for a few months.
what kind of place were you staying in at this time?
I was staying at this time. We're staying at a base called Camp Ramadi. But then later on, they pulled us out and they extended us twice, and that's when we lived amongst the locals.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. What?
It was a fucking different experience.
So where were you staying during this Christmas? At the base or with the locals?
At the base.
Oh, okay. Did they pull everybody? during the holidays, or
No.
it just doesn't matter? You just
No,
happen to be
it's a rotation. Like in my company's instance, it's like these 3 platoons are out, and this platoon stays in for fucking rest. But in this particular fucking month, everybody was out, so they all had to leave somebody behind to wash their gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're out and take care of their. So every platoon had somebody staying back, and I was one of the ones that had to stay back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and leading up to fucking Christmas, around and somebody had told me that fucking Ramadi was the town fucking where Saddam was born, or I probably fucking remember that wrong, but the Ramadi was important to fucking Saddam Hussein, some way or another. So then, in the beginning of December, I think that's when they hung his brother. I don't know, some guy that because of his weight, when they hung him, the fucking
rope snap.
Yeah, the rope snapped his fucking neck with his head coming completely off.
Oh, decapitated.
Yeah, and so that wasn't supposed to happen, and
I mean, but it does happen. Yeah, when you have larger stature.
Yeah, and then
hanged.
Yeah, the locals were pretty fucking outraged about that. They're like, "Hey, that's not supposed to happen. What the fuck?" And the U.S. government was like, and the Iraqi government, they were like,
what they want him to do, like slice off his ass to lose some weight before they hung him?
Yeah, I was like, well, it happened, and yeah, it's not supposed to happen, but fucking what can we do about it?
Use a chain next time, I guess.
Yeah, but the deal was done. And
damn, it's gotta be. Could you imagine being hung by a chain rather than a? I'm sorry, I digress.
And so later on, about 2 weeks later or sometime, it was Saddam's turn, and he was hung, and I was there in Ramadi telling myself and sharing with my guy to my left and to my right. I'm like, dude, are you fucking terrified? Because they're gonna fucking hang Saddam, and the people are like, we were expecting the people to fucking retaliate.
To rebel?
Yeah.
So they loved Saddam, is what you were thinking, or they were showing? What made you think that?
Because again, fucking Ramadi was important to Saddam, and I was under the impression that was his fucking birthplace. So we were expecting people to fucking
be outraged.
Yeah, riot,
an uproar,
whatever. Yeah, but luckily that didn't happen.
What did happen? Okay. So how did they react? What did you see? As far, did nothing change? Was it?
No.
It was they were just like, okay,
yeah,
that guy's dead, now somebody else will take.
Yeah, it was just another day.
How much communication did you have with the locals during that time?
At that time, let's call it the first half of my fucking time in Ramadi, not so much. But then when we were living amongst the fucking locals, I had quite a lot of interaction. I was kind of the unofficial interpreter because you've seen it yourself how I am with people, and
infuriating.
No,
I'm sorry. What? Explain how you're a good interpreter.
No, because
did you speak their language? Do you speak?
I speak enough Arabic to survive. You gotta remember, there's different dialects in fucking.
Town to town. Really.
Alone. Different dialects of, I think it was 16 or 32.
Probably it was closer to 32.
Okay, yeah.
I would imagine.
Let's go with 16. 16 different dialects just in fucking Iraq alone. And, yeah, so it was pretty hard to fucking, we only had 1 or 2 interpreters per fucking company, and mine never had a fucking interpreter. So, yeah, we did, but it wasn't often. And whatever. Yeah, so they would tag me along or fucking bring me along because they're like, you're the foreigner, fucking come speak with these people. And I'm like, okay.
You looked enough like them.
Yeah.
Your skin's brown.
Yeah, like.
Your hair looks the same.
There was this one kid that fucking, they put him in fucking.
Did you have your beard at this time?
No.
No, right?
They put him in fucking Arab garment, and they're like, holy shit, you look like a fucking, local. And
I mean, people aren't that different, other than color and
yeah,
you know.
yeah. This guy was pretty brown, and then he was short, and somehow that fucking fit. But the locals, I'm pretty sure I brought this up before. The locals, as soon as they saw me, they're like, "Oh, Mexican," because you know.
Mexican, that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. That, oh, you're Mexican, and I'm like,
The tale of the Mexican.
yeah. And then I would say that
Mexican,
fucking line from
Mexican.
fucking
Mexican.
Super Troopers. Like, they think I'm Mexican. Yeah, so we're like, Tobias, you are fucking Mexican. What you talking about? I'm like,
Taking enchiladas and chalupas. Chimichanga.
yeah. So, yeah, it was pretty scary. At that time, I was like, shit, they're gonna fucking hang Saddam. I can't remember the exact fucking day. I want to say it was on the 20th. But maybe not. Yeah, because
you're looking up and stuff.
The thing.
Well, here, put it right in front of you.
There you go. Right in the kisser.
That's pretty good. Yeah, just keep your hair on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we're really good.
That's better.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. We're talking real soft this episode. It's a little weird.
Yeah. No, because it's a pretty live spoken episode. So, yeah, and then since I got to stay back for fucking Christmas, I remember vividly and Abrams, which is I guess you could say a type of fucking tank. It's a pretty big fucking vehicle that's used to sweep for IEDs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then, no, not Abram, Bradley. Abram is the actual tank. But yeah, I specifically remember a guy dressed up as Santa Claus, or let's say fucking Santa Claus on a fucking Bradley, tossing fucking, you would think fucking gifts, but no, he was tossing little fucking pouches of fucking cookies. And I caught one and I'm like, ooh.
Wait, what do you say? Anna Bradley? What do you...
A Bradley is the...
That's the name of the sweet...
That's the name of the vehicle they used to sweep.
I'm sorry. Did you say that at the beginning? And I just,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I just...
Yeah, because then I corrected myself. I'm like,
so Santa on that is passing out cookies.
Yeah. He's
this minesweeper, IED sweeper.
Yeah, Santa was tossing his cookies.
Oh, tossing his cookies. You're a dumbass.
No, but yeah, it was actual fucking cookies, and I caught a bag, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got one of Santa's cookies. But yeah, that was it. That was the fucking highlight of
What do you look like? Was it a big... It couldn't have been a big dude.
No, I mean, it wasn't.
Just some
fucking guy, skinny white guy. Fucking.
Did he have the beard on and the hat?
Yeah, he had the fake fucking white beard and the suit and the hat.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the gloves.
And this is just going through Ramadi?
Yeah, he was going through fucking Camp Ramadi.
Okay, the sectioned off area.
Yeah, it's
oh, there's some asshole driving by.
Using the roads and fucking tossing the cookies.
You love that. You're so infatuated with the whole tossing of cookies. That's awesome. Alright, so this is before Christmas or Christmas Day? When is...
That was Christmas Day.
Oh, okay. And then so how does your day... Are you just going through the same routine? Nothing really changes through the day?
Nothing really changed because I was behind the wire, which is what they call staying on the base. You're behind the wire.
Okay. Did you hear any stories about the people on the other side? And I mean, was anything going on?
Yeah. It was all pretty quiet until fucking I got word that my platoon in particular was being attacked, I guess. And then when they came back, they told me it was fucking Building 17 that they were in a building and that there were fucking Al-Qaeda fucking people on the building across, and they were fucking shooting at them. So then these guys, there's video, it's on the YouTube somewhere, maybe I'll find it. There's video of this fucking, of my fucking platoon, particularly my squad, fucking guns up, fucking shooting back. And I'm like, oh shit. And what happened during that week that I was
You're facing that?
Yeah, I tend to do that. What happened during that week too was before the whole Building 17 happened, they were patrolling, or I guess it was a raid, but they were going from house to house, and then one of them, they stopped in the house, and they saw that the entire place was rigged to blow.
Shit.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, so these fucking assholes are gonna blow it up and have it fucking crumble on top of us.
Right.
So I forgot how, but they fucking avoided all that. They, cause you know my platoon didn't suffer any losses, and they all came back to tell me these things. And yeah, so then they defused the fucking bombs, and they went on and they caught the guys responsible. And fucking, I don't know what happened to the fucking guys that we would capture.
Well, one could imagine.
Yeah.
So how do you feel at this time away from your house? Do you have any contact with home at this time? Are you able to check in with people, email or anything?
It was designated. So there were times when the base would suspend the internet because we had some operation going on and for operational security, and there were some guys that would actually get on the phone and tell their fucking family back home everything they were doing. Like they can talk about fucking what they just did because it already happened, but no.
They would tell them the future plans as well.
Yeah, and I'm like
future operations.
Even at that,
ongoing.
I would tell my fucking parents, I'm like, well, I really can't tell you fucking what's going on. And then my father's usual response is, who's gonna know? And I'm like, well,
anybody who could tap the line.
Yeah, exactly. And what happened? So yeah, we had a I forgot what it was called, Operation Big Push. I don't know, but it was known as the Big Push, where we cleaned out fucking most of the city. We went in. It was the entire battalion along with some army units, and we swept.
And that's you and about how many people?
A lot, like hundreds.
Hundreds. So wow. Okay.
Yeah, like
massive movement.
Yeah.
That's a big push. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to call it anything else.
So then.
So you make this big push going in.
Yeah,
where?
We swept through fucking Ramadi, our fucking area of operation.
Mm-hmm.
We swept through it, and along other units in other different areas of western Iraq, and then others in fucking northern Iraq, southern Iraq. Because we were part of what was known as the Triangle of Death. It was Ramadi, Baghdad, and Fallujah, all making one big triangle, and that's
right.
Yeah.
The center conflict.
Yeah.
Area.
So then I think that was the area that we pushed upon, and I forgot the fucking.
Basically, being the principal coming to break up the fight.
Yeah.
On the schoolyard.
Yeah. So then, Rob is the one that remembers all these things. But, it was...
Did you get into this with him the other day or what?
No.
Or are you just saying you wish he was here to add some color?
Yeah.
No, you're doing great though. This is really good.
But it was like fucking 74% that we cleaned up. It was probably more. I know if I get the wrong number, if it's too low, I'm discrediting my fucking unit and all those laws.
Y'all cleaned up. You did the best you could to rid the area of...
I want to say 88%, 92%. I don't know, but it was a big number. Of terrorists that we captured.
Of the known terrorist
organization.
organization.
So we fucking cleaned it up, and we saw fucking... We could tell because we saw fucking progress. People were actually coming out and fucking painting their water tanks with soccer balls and fucking...
People were actually able to get back to living life outside.
Yeah, they could finally fucking...
rebuild without having it fucking destroyed the very next day.
So that was what we saw, which is why our platoon sergeant would tell us on our briefing to head back into the States. We're going to go out into the world, or into the fucking civilian world, and you're going to bump into fucking political fucking activists and all this shit. Don't talk to them, avoid them, because it's going to fucking hit a nerve, and your adrenaline...
It's going to spike.
Yeah, especially
because people don't understand.
Your body is already accustomed to how much adrenaline was rushing through when you would fucking have those moments. And it was intense compared to if your adrenaline rushed right now.
Yeah.
You know, you would literally be fucking berserker mode.
You had an outlet before. At least you had something that you had to pay attention to. You could focus on your surroundings.
Yeah.
Here, when there's no stimulus that's giving you something to focus on, a reason to be paranoid, then it just kind of eats away at the inner fucking turmoil. The inner mind, gets kind of fucking chewed on a little bit when there's nothing else to focus on.
Yeah, so then these people would say that, there was no point in going to Iraq, that it was a fucking, not useless war, but it was a pointless war, right? But then, our argument is, you didn't see what we saw. We saw people bettering their lives, better quality of life because of what we did.
Yeah.
And there were kids that were being used as fucking IEDs.
Right.
Yeah. And fucking all of that was fucking laid to rest with us. And then the ones that followed.
And there's a lot of, I don't want to get into it. I don't know enough. Never mind.
What?
Continue.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying that it seems like for a little while there you were seeing a lot of movement in that area, like for women's rights, how they're like women can drive now, and what's it called, the female castration, the genital mutilation it's been tampered down and gotten a hold of a lot more in the area. There are certain key things like that one in particular being a religious custom. That one, the fact that was starting to get paid attention to, shows that if nothing else, there was a sociological response to what you guys did over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as soon as all that was starting to get covered, Donald Trump started running for president, and everything that we were doing good over there, everything that was starting to come from that region got totally fucking taken over by political fucking news and all this satire and bullshit that we see now. It's weird, man. It's weird to see how much attention things like this used to get, and now it's just all in the background. Now that the results are coming out and we see more of the reasons and controversies throughout all these operations that are being carried out, like pulling out of Iraq and then going into Turkey, or pulling out of Turkey rather, and then going back into northern Iraq. And nobody's discussed it. Nobody's talking about what we're doing over there, really.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about Russia and North Korea still, for fucking why again. It's very odd, man. All this subterfuge and smoke screen and shit that goes up to cover it. But hearing it from your perspective, and which you guys actually saw boots on the ground, that things were getting cleaned up, it is nice to hear that at least there's first-hand experience that could show that those small fragments of good news we were seeing on the news about it were honest and were truthful, and that the negatives maybe were focused on a little bit too much as far as what we were doing there. And, there are reasons to help out other people in the world. But how do you feel about it now? What's going on now out there? Do you have any friends that are serving right now?
No.
Not
at the moment.
All you guys have gotten out?
Yeah. And
so you can't speak to anything that's been going on right now. This is just what happened back then. Okay, so while you're out there, did you have any contact, when they did give you an opportunity to contact home, what did you hear? Or what did you say?
Well, it was frustrating because I guess it's common when fucking Hispanics or fucking Mexicans, Latinos, that if they don't know the number, they won't answer. So, so when I would call from Iraq, it'd be a scrambled number. It'd be some random number because they
right.
Fucking,
like a VPN.
And they wouldn't fucking answer.
A proxy phone number.
Yeah, and then one time, I fucking remember this, that I fucking called, and fucking finally fucking they answered, and I was angry with fucking tears in my eyes, and I was like, you know, I almost fucking died fucking the other night, and you won't even fucking answer your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, it's because I didn't recognize the number. And I'm like, I think I was fucking screwing at this point.
I know. I wish people would just answer the fucking thing. If you don't want to talk to them, hang up.
Yeah.
Hang up. Like, you don't just ignore it. Like, what? Because you don't recognize the number. Now, especially now with cell phones, people's phones die all the fucking time. And people don't think, like, you might get an important call from a number you don't fucking know. Like, pick up your goddamn phone.
Yeah.
Pick up your goddamn phone, people. Somebody might have lost their phone and had to get a new number and shit, and you're not answering the fucking phone.
Yeah. Yeah, and then my mother was like, oh, I'm sorry, Mijo.
I got mad for you. I put myself in your head. I was like, holy shit, those fucking, they know you're fucking calling from these numbers. Like, somebody fucking answer the phone. Fuck, it's Frank.
Yeah, and I had to fucking explain that.
Oh man, I'm sorry,
we were
bro.
scrambled because.
So, I'm sorry,
So for the first few days,
go?
for the first few days, I wouldn't get fucking, I wouldn't be able to call or talk to my fucking parents over the phone until finally I did. And I had to explain it to them that the numbers are scrambled because OPSEC, operational security. Like, yeah, like, you know, we can't risk somebody else finding out and then we're getting out that, hey, fucking.
This is, I mean, you can find locations with specific numbers and stuff.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, that too. And fucking, yeah, it's all fucking tactic strategy. And, yeah, I remember being fucking pissed. Because they wouldn't answer their fucking phones. So when they wouldn't answer their phone, I could always revert to fucking emails. I'd email them and shit, and it would take for fucking ever to get a fucking response. Which was fine, because I'd spend a week or two, I'd spend about 10 days out there, and then come back to the fucking base. But then it was when we were fucking out of the base and living amongst the fucking villagers that I wouldn't have fucking contact with my family.
Yeah. So how long would you stay with them, with the villagers? And is this one of those situations where you all would stay in like one room, one centralized room, and sleep on the ground, or what?
We would live amongst the villagers, as in we would be occupying these combat outposts, because there are houses that the army would take over.
Commandeer.
They'd clear it out and then put sandbags and barbed wire and everything. So now that's a fucking
little fort, a
little
Alamo.
Yeah, it's a fucking base of operations.
Preferably with no holes in the deck.
Yeah, so we would go out and would basically do fucking watch. We'd go out, we'd be in the building, and we'd have people on the rooftop. Fucking, it's a listening observation post, what it's called. Because you listen. And you observe, and then you fucking
post.
And then you
let people know.
Report, you know, what's going on if they ever ask for a fucking report. And then from there, we need a fucking replacement, somebody to relieve us, so we can go out on fucking patrol, and then come back to a different fucking base, and then you know, so it cycles. So there's always fucking somebody out there fucking getting information. It was like a perpetual fucking.
Alright, you're repeating yourself a lot. Yeah, this is a perpetual sentence. Perpetual sentence.
Yeah.
So what was the point?
Oh, that fucking. That's how I lived among the villagers.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but like the actual interaction, like where did you sleep? I was just asking like your physical not your duties.
I would sleep.
What was the actual living there like?
Yeah, I'd sleep.
What did you have, like 2 hours to sleep, 4 hours to sleep? Like what time would you get to bed?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was 4 hours of fucking sleep, and then 4 hours of fucking standby, and then 8 hours on fucking on post.
And what are you eating during all this time?
MREs really, but I wouldn't. I would fucking save fucking, like I'd ration it out, and some of these people, they would actually eat. Well, like when we would take over a house, like the fucking lady that wanted me to marry her fucking kids. We occupy one of those houses. Some of these guys right away would go and raid the fridge, and the most they could make, so I got fucking tired of it, was fucking tater and eggs. So that's
That's why you never want potato and eggs when you get me tacos. That's funny.
yeah. So then there's that. And I'm like, God damn. And yeah, I'd be like, don't eat their food. They can barely fucking afford a living. And they're like, fuck you, fucking fuck them. Okay.
That was a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, but they would still eat it. I'm like, okay. And then on occasions we'd go to the main fucking base, cop apples, and they would have trucks come in with fucking warm food, and that would do miracles for fucking morale.
What kind of warm food?
Like chicken cordon bleu was one.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it was fucking cafeteria chicken cordon bleu.
Fuck off. There's nothing wrong with that after crap meals.
Yeah, so being out there in the fucking cold, and this is December, the rainiest year.
How cold is it?
Rainiest month of the year. It got pretty cold.
30s, 40s,
like,
or
I want to say between the 20s and 30s, because it would be cold and it would rain, and I would feel the fucking like icicles buzzing.
So like a cold Texas winter. Yeah.
And
so it doesn't get too bad, but it's still
the mud would fucking crunch every now and then it would.
The mud would crunch.
Yeah, and then
now keep in mind this is real subjective because you got people up north that are freezing their asses off right now.
Yeah.
Buried under snow.
And it would remind me of in the posadas there's a fucking line that you fucking sing, fucking pisando la escarcha, fucking stepping on the fucking sleet, you know, and that, you know, it's the troubles of fucking the Virgin Mary and Joseph fucking heading back home to have their baby. And I would feel fucking closer to God when I was in fucking Iraq, because I'm like, look, I'm here where it all fucking happened. Not the actual fucking country, like it's a few miles fucking that way.
Not Jerusalem.
Yeah, but I was fucking
Bethlehem.
I was experiencing what Mary and Joseph were fucking experiencing all those fucking years ago.
It wasn't too much different? Is that what you, like?
Yeah, like I was fucking suffering to the core because you gotta keep in
mind.
Okay. You gotta keep in mind.
Experiencing the environment that's been the environment for hundreds of years.
We're out there in the cold.
Sure. That's a beautiful sentiment.
And we are having fucking people shelter us.
Right.
You know, which is what Mary and Joseph were fucking doing. They were looking for fucking shelter, which is what the fucking, I think that's what it means, fucking posada. Fucking, you know, can you fucking host me? You know, looking for a fucking.
That's right, because a posada, to clarify, it's like a procession of people, usually in the Catholic faith, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Christian thing. I know
No,
it's a Catholic thing, where you go door to door to your neighbors, and it's a prayer. You're basically going door to door, acting as Mary and Joseph. There's like a representative.
Yeah, it's like a reenactment
like
of
a family
the story the Bible told. How she went to, what was it, 2 different houses, and then the third one.
And they shut her. They closed the door. They turned her away. They turned them away.
Yeah.
And all the inns were full. None of the houses would take them until they get to this farmer who has a manger, who says, "I have no place for you to stay, but please take my manger." And you offer it. You know, you're supposed to make an offering. I've never been a part of it. I know when I was younger, we used to have one come by the house every Christmas, but I was never attentive enough to pay to know what was going on.
No, you fucking finally accept them in, and then it's like this big hoorah, that fucking, you know, like hooray, fucking they let us stay. And then, with my family, it was, okay, let's continue praying. and then we'll have our feast, because after they let them in, then you have a fucking feast, and then you hand out your fucking goodie bags and fucking all that shit.
I think we do like pan dulce here, don't you? Like,
yeah.
I think that's what we've. I feel like I remember. Isn't there like some sort of bread with like a baby Jesus baked into it too?
That's January 6th.
What is that about? A baby New Year?
Yeah, that's supposedly the day when the 3 wise men showed up to Jesus and gifted him fucking gold, myrrh, and frankincense, I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got it right.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But, what happened? Yeah, and then there's that bread, the fucking rosca, which is a fucking giant fucking donut.
Oh, there's a theory that those 3 wise men were the Eastern Buddhists that came to find the new Buddha. and to anoint him as the new Buddha.
Yeah,
That's why when he was 13, or 12 or something, he disappears from the Bible till he's like, whatever, however old, 32 when he comes back or something.
Yeah.
No, that's when he dies. But whatever,
he dies at 33.
Yeah, 13 to like 20, whatever he is when he comes back into the Bible. They say that he went off to go be with those wise Eastern men to learn the ways of the Buddha. And
Ways of the Force.
no, well, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
a Buddhist tradition and ideology and thinking, which is, you know, peace, love, do unto others.
Yeah.
You know, and then he comes back and teaches everybody else as the Buddha, you know, or Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But he takes it a step further and makes a cult out of it, saying he's the Son of God and not just... Well, either he made a cult out of it or someone made a cult out of him.
Yeah.
Seems
Well, it was
like.
a whole fucking gather ye all merry men, whatever, and listen to the fucking word of God, fucking blah blah blah. So it was like a fucking public speaker with a following. You know, it was like fucking Twitter in the old days. That's really what it was.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Okay, cool.
Why do you let me do these things?
Because I'm like, what's going on here? What is happening?
I was
right
just
now?
doing background music because you brought it up and it made
Okay.
a funny for me face.
Okay.
One nut hit in my way.
Forgot what the fuck I was saying.
So.
Oh, and then for the posadas, the fucking the piñata that they have is the shape of the fucking northern star. And apparently there's a symbolic meaning to every fucking spike, and I'm like, it's the North Star, and you're fucking beating it, and fucking candy comes out and all that shit.
Yeah, that sounds like a stretch. That's Mexicans just throwing a piñata in for any
Yeah.
reason. Come on. No, you're stretching it.
Yeah, so that's how my family celebrates Christmas.
That's cool, man.
It's the whole fucking 9 days of prayer, which is symbolic of the 9 months that Virgin Mary was pregnant.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and so then you're supposed to go out into the neighborhood and do all that shit, going from door to door.
Uh-huh.
But what my family does is it's such a large fucking family and fucking.
Don't like our neighbors.
No, well, the church is supposed to organize this, you know, like fucking. This day is gonna be fucking this family's posada and fucking blah blah blah. And so
yeah, it's usually organized as a community in some capacity, usually through the church.
We keep it amongst ourselves, like fucking this day is fucking this family and blah blah blah, and whatever. Yeah. So then when it's time to get up and do the whole fucking reenact the scene of the Virgin Mary looking for shelter, we take one lap around the living room. And then go to a room. This is in my grandmother's house.
Huh.
Yeah, and then sing the lines because there's a lot of singing in these posadas. And then come Christmas Eve, it's when Jesus was supposedly born. So then it's a different. We're not asking for fucking posada anymore. We're not looking for shelter anymore. We are awaiting the birth of Christ, and then my grandmother has a porcelain baby Jesus. So then when it's born, when midnight comes, they start swaying it with a fucking cloth, blanket, whatever. They're swaying it, and everyone gets a turn at kissing baby Jesus. I fucking never understood that, but
How do you feel? No, I mean, you were talking about how you celebrate Yule in the last episode. So how does that coexist in this scenario?
Oh, I don't partake in it anymore. Like that's what I grew up with, but I don't partake in it anymore because that's not my religion. And my father gets mad and he's like, "Fucking, what do you mean that's not your religion? You're Catholic, fucking blah blah blah." But I'm like.
But we just went through the whole last episode explaining how Christmas is barely really a religious experience. So couldn't you just do that as like a family tradition and not think of it as a religious one? Because it really is. I mean, and as far as the 9 days of prayer and stuff, like I've never heard of that. That seems like a very particular thing to your family's region, I guess. 'Cause my family, although we recognize the posadas and stuff, and we've done things like that. I mean, we fell off that years ago, essentially. Now we basically, that cat's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But now we basically just get together Christmas Eve, do a big dinner. And typically the family priest will come over because my grandma's very traditional as well, because she comes from Spain and educated in a convent and stuff.
Yeah, tradition, that's the key word, because nowadays in Mexico...
But you can always break it down to a family tradition rather than a
Yeah.
religion. For those of you who are like myself, who I struggle with the whole idea of religion to begin with. And so the practices of each religion seems a little... Well, I'm gonna go have to fucking beat a cat real quick. You know, pause
Not
the
actually
video.
beat.
Our family traditions have pretty much died off. No,
Yeah.
it's very homogenized, very Americanized celebrating at this point. We just do white elephant, do a big Christmas dinner, wake up early on Christmas Day, open presents, you know.
I never liked white elephant. Like, my mother wants to do it, like every year she fucking suggests it.
Well, we do it because it's cheaper than buying everybody presents.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise, it's basically we all decide not to do the white elephant if we are all doing really well that year, but it's rare. Usually there's always one person that's, and 9 times out of 10 it's me, that is happiest for the budget constraint. So we'll do like, everybody bring one $40 gift. This year I've set the standard, I don't know why I blurted out $50, so now I fucking chewed my own tail on that one a little bit, stuffed my foot in it, but yeah, so we'll do that. Usually Christmas, we'll do another white elephant Christmas morning at my grandma's house, but since my grandfather died, everybody's pretty much disappeared for Christmas.
Yeah, it's the same in my family, my dad's side, ever since my
It seems like the
grandfather
kids
died.
are all, for the most part, uncomfortable being home for the holidays without my grandfather.
Yeah.
So everybody's just decided to start doing their own traditional things and going places for Christmas. It's sad, man, because for me, the holidays have always been about the entire family, not your family, not your home.
Nuclear family, but
not the
everyone.
nuclear family, your family.
Yeah.
We're supposed to commune during this cold winter time. That's because there's no more hardships in the world. Nobody feels the need for group, communal things. I guess I don't know, man. I don't know. So I'm doing my best to try and keep it together and make sure that if we can't be with family during holidays, we get together with friends that are pretty much family.
Yeah.
Which we've done every year. The friends that I made those friends my family. The friends that we get together with for those holidays when the family's unavailable. I ended up having the guy be my son's godfather.
Yeah.
So I actually made him religiously my family. But yeah, man. So I'm trying to teach my son the real reasons for all this, but it's just hard when society's just telling everybody different.
Yeah.
But let's get back to your times in Iraq and your Marine memory. We kind of strayed off to talk about Christmas here. This was, I thought we were gonna leave that in the past. I thought we were gonna let that one go.
Oh.
Well, what do you want?
Because it had something to do with, or it was
Well, how did
part of
they-
my experience.
How did they celebrate in Iraq?
I don't know.
Oh, really? No idea at all?
No.
You didn't smell like extra goat meat in the air or anything?
No. Remember, for Christmas I was...
Well, aren't they Muslim too?
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be a Christmas with it. I guess
Probably
not.
not.
But there has to be some sort of festivities that go on at some point.
I just didn't ask.
Did you ever experience any sort of celebration out there?
I want to say yes. Well, because these people, they pray 5 times a day. And I would catch these people like the fucking tower thing would sound off, fucking
Acting unlikely.
Aloha snack bar, and fucking it's time for prayer, like morning prayer, noon prayer, fucking afternoon prayer, evening prayer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm forgetting another prayer, and
Better.
probably, and
Well,
whatever.
maybe
Yeah,
not.
and I would see them. It's like you see in the movies, like you see in the documentaries. It's like a fucking line of fucking usually men. Yeah, a line of fucking men. I've never saw a fucking woman involved. On their knees, fucking bowing down, facing Mecca, and I'm like, wow. So that's kind of a celebration. Like if you're Catholic, you're like, oh look, it's a celebration of something religious. But yeah,
That's an interesting way to look at it. That it's like a celebration in itself that they do that every day.
yeah. But because when I was an altar boy,
That's right. The big pilgrimage.
yeah, they would ask who's gonna celebrate the mass today. Meaning which priest is gonna be the one fucking hosting the fucking
Yeah,
mass.
I always thought it was strange to like. I remember even asking it in CCD why do we celebrate Jesus and his birth today in particular, when shouldn't we be celebrating it every day? You know what I mean? Like, isn't the
Yeah.
whole purpose of believing and praying to God every day is celebrating him every day in our everyday life? So why do we have, like, it seems almost blasphemous to make one day, because I think it even says so in the traditional Bible that there is no day more holy than the next. That each day is as holy as the day that precedes it or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we should be treating each and every day with reverence as if it's our last, essentially.
Yeah.
Treat everybody with dignity, respect, love, give these gifts every day, treat people with love and kindness every day. To make a certain day for it to be a religious experience is kind of blasphemous in itself, no?
Yeah, like why was Jesus born in one specific day, but then died and resurrected in some random ass day?
I guess.
No.
I mean, it's not really a specific day. Oh, you mean like why would he have been born on like the solstice?
Yeah,
like
we know
the darkest night of the year. Well, because
Almost.
the sun was supposed to come in the darkest time to bring us back into the light. Is
Yeah.
the colloquial way to think of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's
it's like he was
the
born on this
colloquial
day,
explanation.
June 25th, and then he died on some random ass day in the fucking spring.
Yeah.
Like his
Well,
death,
again, because
his
spring.
death is not designated to one particular day.
Well, it's because
It's random.
because spring is the beginning of the regrowth period. That's why. So you could think of it as like he died in. If instead of 3 days you say 3 months, he died in the darkest of winter, and then in the heights of spring, 3 months later, the world is resurrected with new life and stuff from,
Yeah.
So it all can be fucking explained away. You can find common denominators and non sequiturs even that all fucking coexist in all of these stories. It's fun, man. It lets you realize the unity that we all really do carry within ourselves and our ideologies and our mindsets. Like we're all celebrating the same exact things in the same exact ways, but we're all calling the rose a different name. But a rose by any other, as Shakespeare or whoever the hell he stole it from said, smells as sweet, So that's Christmas. Did you think? How did you feel that Christmas? Were you sad? Were you lonely over in Iraq when you were hunkering down and going about your daily duties?
I was actually fucking grateful that you can say that, because I was thinking that, oh wow, I'm experiencing what the Virgin Mary and Joseph were experiencing back in the day. So it was like my version of what is it, stigmata or fucking what's it called?
Well, stigmata is when you wake up with the nails and the holes in your hands and feet.
Yeah, because that thing,
No,
it's like you're experiencing.
That's an actual physical, tangible experience that didn't happen
But
yet.
it was like a mental stigmata, because you're experiencing what Jesus experienced when he was nailed to the cross, and me, I was experiencing what his parents were.
It was a spiritual baptism of a sense. But then you didn't. But then you don't believe in it now.
Yeah.
So how could you feel such reverence in the moment? I hate to detract from it, but how can you feel that reverence in the moment and not feel it now?
At the moment, I was
in need of it.
Very in touch with fucking the Christian God. Like my faith was strongest when I was in the Marine Corps. At least the first few years.
Okay. Yeah. And then, so do you mind me asking, what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
My incarceration is.
Really? Yeah. Of all the things.
Yeah, because I said, okay, yeah, there is a God. Yeah, he's always fucking giving me the shitty end of the stick. But fucking, you know.
Maybe he's just trying to humble you.
There has to be.
This is. I have a problem with people who treat like their religion, their prayers, as if like God is a fucking genie. Like you can just rub on his belly and say, I wish I had $1 million, and eventually, because you were good and prayed enough, you should get $1 million. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but that's not how it's seen.
But even biblically, like it says, you don't pray for things. You pray for you to say thanks for what you've been given, and thanks for the strength to get through the difficult times. It's not meant to ask for anything. Prayers are supposed to be thankings. That's it. You don't ask for shit. Like, the people that I wish my father was healed, they're like, well, that's fucking selfish of you, because there's plenty of people whose father wasn't. And you think just because you pray harder that your father is going to be healed, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. You ask for the strength to get through it, and the thanks that you know that you will eventually. Because we've all had losses in our lives, and we all continued on and had to continue. And people have a hard time with it because they can't understand why God would do that to them. They're like, God didn't decide to kill anybody. It's just the way nature as he created it, if you so believe in a God, exists. But in the end, it's up to you on how you feel about it. Like, you can adjust your thinking on death. You can adjust it to say, oh, he didn't deserve it. Like, well, no, he didn't deserve it, but you know what? He's lived through enough already. Maybe he wants to go. I know plenty of people who fucking... Some people are done by the time they're fucking in their 20s. Like, they've lived enough, they've been through enough, they're tired. And they take their own lives. You know, there are people who die naturally. Like, life is a choice on how you feel 99% of the time. But a lot of it is environment. I don't know what the hell my point is.
No, I was going through that fucking
same
experience. But no, the logic,
cut a lot of
the logic behind
that space hard. Sorry, people.
The logic behind that was that I had accepted what fucking priests and fucking Joel Osteen, let's throw his name in there, were saying that fucking in life, those who suffer the most will be, rewarded in heaven, or they'll live fucking, they'll know no suffering.
The meek will inherit the earth.
And
sentiment.
Heaven, blah, 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 whatever. But then, I was thinking, logically, I'm like, what makes me so sure that that's exactly what's going to happen? And then why put my life in the hands of some fucking omnipotent fucking being that might not even fucking exist? When I can take control of my own life, and the outcomes will be because of me, not because some fucking guy in the fucking sky was like, this is what's going to happen to you.
Well, that's the argument for free will, though. If you're going to go it all depends on your position on your faith. Because a lot of people do look at religion as if it's supposed to literally answer your questions.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's a guide as to how to think about the questions. There are no answers. It's conditioning the mind to think of these particular instances in a certain way, so you can come out thinking, hey, it's better off if I don't kill this guy that pissed me off rather than if I do. You know what I mean? In the end, if there wasn't society telling you, you know what I mean? And which is when all this was going on, there wasn't big police forces or FBI to fucking handle these cases. Like, you had to make larger decisions on your own, and the only people to judge you for it were your neighbors. You weren't going to get thrown in jail, you were going to get killed. And you had to teach your kids that somehow when they were fighting with their brothers and sisters and never got reprimanded as hard as they fucking beat each other up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they grow up to be adults and they're beating each other up. Well, what are you going to do with them? Well, let's give them some rules. Where do you get the rules? Jesus. You got this big thing in the sky. It's bigger than me because my kid's bigger than me now. He can kick my ass. Well, when you die, the devil's going to get you. You know what I mean? We got to come up with these things. I don't know, man. I don't know. Life is crazy. Religion is crazy. War is crazy. We're pretty crazy.
Yep.
I don't know. Anything you want to say to wrap up this episode? I think we've been going on long enough.
Well,
Pretty low energy.
Just that we're trying to because it was fucking. We had just done a lot of fucking. We covered a lot. Previous episode, we fucking tried to follow up on that, and you know it's pretty hard to follow up. Fucking.
All the history. Well,
yeah,
I was happy that you shared what you were able to here.
Yeah, so I tried to make it relevant to the fucking holiday.
It was good, man.
Yeah.
It was a good episode. Just wanted to see if you had anything left to say before we wrapped up. I wasn't getting a review on the pod though.
Oh, oops.
It's okay. I guess we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. You can find us at Completely Inapp on Twitter, at CI Podcast on Instagram. You can find us at Completely Inappropriate Podcast on YouTube's and what else?
Facebook.
On Facebook. Email us at completelyinappropriatepodcast@gmail.com. Then you have your comments, questions, and concerns. You want to hit us up on Skype, let us know. We'll set up an interview with you. Let us know what you think about the show. Sorry, we're a little low energy here, but I wanted to give Frank a chance to actually talk and try to calm myself down to let him get some good info out there on his experiences. And I think it was worth it, man. That was pretty good. Thanks. We know a little bit more about you now, too. So thanks for this marine memory. Frank, what do we tell the people?
Be excellent to each other.
Find your happy. He comes from his mama, and he loves pie. Bye.